Hello everybody, I've just watched a Tamil language movie that piqued my interest, which I'll go through in a moment. I'm planning on reviewing another Tamil language epic very soon, which has got 2 parts. But back to the present. Let's go through this one. If I could just get the name right, what did I think? Alright then, so I have just watched a film. Let's see, what does YouTube say? How to pronounce it? I'm going to get it wrong. Obviously, I'm going to get this wrong, and I'm going to upset people who speak Tamil language purely because of my ignorance. Let's see how do we pronounce it? Because I did look it up. Vettaiyan.
Vettaiyan.
And again? YouTube, hello? Vettaiyan. You see, he's saying it a little bit... Vettaiyan. You see, he said it a bit happier then. Is it again? Any more? Vettaiyan. But yeah, Vettaiyan. Thank you. There's another one. Hang on a minute. I think this guy's a bit happier. Maybe? Vettaiyan. See, he says it with a bit more. Vettaiyan. Indeed. Yep. Vettaiyan. I've just watched Vettaiyan. And I've got to say, in the traditional sense of the Tamil movie universe, Tamil films, you get your money's worth out of Indian cinema, and Tamil films especially. But you know what? They're extremely long, but they do not feel long at all. They just go by so quickly because there's so much going on, so much action. But this one, for me, it's a hard-hitting storyline. It's something that you'd expect to see in a drama. But imagine putting a really heavy set storyline in the middle of an awesome action movie with some great set pieces. Let's give this a little bit of thought, because ultimately I loved this. I thought this was great. If you've got a spare whole entire evening, then this is gonna fill it up completely. If you've never seen an Indian movie before, particularly if you've never seen a Tamil movie before, then I reckon this is the ultimate entry into it. If you guys are out there and you're like, well, what? I've never thought about doing this. I've never thought about it ever before. Then just do it. Just go. Right? The one caveat, right? If you're not a native speaker, is obviously it's got subtitles. A lot of people out there these days actually watch television in their own language with the subtitles on because they can't understand or hear what people are saying in whatever it is they're watching. So take that philosophy and go see this. I guarantee you'll be entertained. Not only do you get to enjoy this whole thing from start to finish, but unlike what we have in Hollywood cinema and all of that, we've got an intermission. You get a toilet break, or you get a refresh snacks break, or you just get a moment to yourself, whatever you want to call it. Intermission? I mean, how awesome is that? Let's get into the story just a little bit. In fact, before we do that, let's get on the road, because we can't sit in this car park all night. If we do that, then the people at this cinema are just gonna they're gonna wonder what the hell I'm doing. But anyway, let's get out of here and not crash. So let's talk about the story of Vettaiyan. I've already been through this. You know what? I used to already. Yeah. Well, there's a sort of educational facility or facilities, and it's a kind of a sort of work from home kind of deal going on. It's sort of sucking money out of the working class. It's causing problems, and there's the cost of the courses themselves are extremely high, especially for poor people who are finding it a struggle to do anything. But obviously they want what's best for the children. They somehow find the money to pay for this. Now, if they haven't got the money to pay for this, then the education facility will offer you a loan, and fine, great, a lot of people take that, whatever, no problem at all. And it means that the kids get the opportunity to, well, have a better life, I guess. But, and there's a massive but, well, that would be, well, no spoilers here. I ain't spoiling this, but let's just say things aren't exactly what they seem to be. I mean, I love this. I did. I thought this was great. So who's in it, right? Rajnikanth is our main guy, let's say. And he is the superstar. I mean, it's announced, as always, at the beginning of the film, in that awesome introduction that he always has in his films. Amazing stuff. The guy is able to do slow motion walking, slow motion fighting, slow motion, all of that. Just as good as anybody else that I've ever seen. The quirky, fun part of this is that the sunglasses thing. I wish I could do that. So who else is in this? Right, we're going to park underneath a street light here, and we're going to just go this way. This is it. This is us. We found ourselves a place here. Okay, so this is directed by TJ Nanavel. So he's the brains behind other movies, and yes, I'm reading this, by the way. 2017's Kutatil Arutan, 2021's J Beam, and 2024's Vettaiyan, which is what we've just seen. Other notable people in this, as I mentioned before, we got Rajnikanth, who is just like killing it, like as always, is just killing it. The films I've seen him in, they've got that charm of, those Hollywood action stars. And that's how I feel whenever I see Rajnikanth on screen. It's like, boom, here we are. We know what we're in for. We're in for something super cool, if nothing else. Then we've got Amitabh Bachchan. And he is a kind of, he is an Indian movie superstar, essentially. Born in 1942, which makes him 82 years old. And in this, he plays the National Human Rights Commissioner of India, which is another angle of this film, but it actually features quite heavily, prominently, in fact, in its storyline about women's rights. And I think about the harassment of women, and that kind of thing that happens every day all over the world, in fact, but obviously happens in India too. The central focus of our story is our teacher, right? I mean, she's heroic, basically. She is heroic for the sake of education and for the sake of people's rights to not be exploited. They feature as a backbone, as it were, to move the story along. It's the fact that my expectation was, here we are, we're going to be seeing a violent, awesome action film, and that's what we're going to get. But it actually had this element in it, which drove it home to me that, again, it's like, it doesn't matter what films you watch, from wherever they're made, from wherever they're created, wherever they're loved, adored, whatever it is, from around the world. The story is what matters the most about these things. And this has got a great story, and it's got an emotional core to it. And not only does it have an emotional core to it, but it actually 100% has got a rights movement at its very centre. So our teacher the character's name is Savanya. She's played by Vijaya Deshayan. Every moment that she's on screen, she's got this presence to her. She's one of those kind of quiet but pure warriors, that's kind of trying to fight for what's right for the people, particularly in education. And one of my favourite characters in this is Patrick. What an awesome name. He is, was, a thief. He's kind of Vettaiyan's sidekick. And when I say sidekick, he's kind of the tech guy who sort of, you need a gadget, he can sort it out. You need to hack into someone's computer, he can do that for you, no problem whatsoever. Some of his lines are hilarious. Some of his lines are LOL funny. Fahad, Fasil, or it says Fafa. Is that right? Fafa? Fine. That is awesome. Everyone, feel free to 100% correct me on anything I get wrong here, because I'm shit with names. And I'm shit with most things like that. And, to be able to get this right is edge of your seat exciting. For me, anyway. For you, it's just like, what is he talking about? Why does he keep saying names wrong? This film has got an extra layer to it, that I wasn't expecting to see. And the extra layer is that whole storyline of the school teacher. And not only the storyline of the school teacher, but how that kind of cascades from what happens to her, how that cascades across the entire country, how that affects the story itself that we're watching. It's got that perfect balance of both of those things. It handles its action so well. I mean, of one of the things to expect from a Tamil produced film is action. And there's the greatest point of view sort of fight scene that I've ever seen, I think. And it's just one take. I mean, maybe there's invisible takes in there, whatever, but it's just one take. And it is so good. And it does not take any pauses. It doesn't hold back. It just goes straight for it. And the choreography of that scene is just so wonderful. It reminds me of the shot in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 when they're in that sort of space corridoring thing. And that's just one whole sequence. And that is just so great. And this is a sort of on-earth version of that. It's just awesome. You know, the drug cartels are the ones who cause the problems. We've got to think about crooked cops here, because these do exist. And again, this is something that is covered in this film. There's an awesome sequence which shows us the different types of crooked cops that exist. Some that turn a blind eye, some that are like right in there getting kickbacks and that kind of thing, and the sort of ones in the middle that sort of do it but kind of don't do it. You know what I mean? It's both funny and it's actually a little bit sad as well. See, I don't want to give away too much, and I don't know if I've already given away too much, as it were, but I've covered the fact that for me, this is more than just an action film, right? This has got a deeper meaning in it. This has got something else to say about society in general, and about the treatment of women, and about the importance of teachers and education, and women teachers and women in education. That is a key message that I took away from this. And that, it's the regular people, it's the regular folks who get exploited and who get used and who get taken advantage of financially. Because don't forget, right, ultimately, at the end of the day, the SSP is, well, I mean, I hate them. I hate the SSP. They're exploiting people, they're taking money from them, and they're pretending that they're this kind of educational savior. You know what I mean? They can save you. Your children will be saved through the magic of education. All you need to do is pay us this money. And if you can't afford this, we'll give you a loan, and then you can pay for it, and then you can pay the loan back. But guess what, everybody? The loan is like, God knows how much it costs to pay the loan back. What am I going to give this film out of 5 stars? This is initial reactions, right? My initial reaction says, I want to give this, at the very least, I'm going to give this 4 stars. The entire 3-hour runtime, which is a long runtime. At no point, at absolutely 0 point during this, did I think to myself, how long is this going to go on for? At no point during this film did I think that. And you know what? I just loved it. If it's showing somewhere, right, just go and see it. Go and see this. You won't be disappointed. It's made in another language. Absolutely fine. It's made in another country, and it's made kind of in a universe that, us over here in our westernness don't really know that well. And that's absolutely fine. But you know what? This goes to show that our differences are not really that different. Every struggle that you see in this is something that can be echoed across the entire world. I just thought this was great. And it was more than I expected it to be. It's called Vettaiyan, and it is exceptionally good. I love this. This was a great film. Everybody, I will see you next time. You take care.